Hi dear students, welcome to another session on the Introduction to Biostatistics. This class we can deal with frequency distribution. What is meant by frequency distribution? It's a common terminology in statistics. Frequency distribution is a list, table or graph and that displays the frequency of various outcomes. Then what is meant by frequency? Frequency means number of appearance of number of occurrence of a particular event or a particular outcome. In statistical term, we will call the event as outcomes. So in detail, it's a classification of a random variable into a number of classes or class intervals. You will understand it in detail in the coming slides. So frequency distribution indicates the number of times or the frequency. I have already told you the frequency means the number of appearance or number of occurrence or the number of times a particular event occurs. So the frequency distribution indicates the number of times or the frequency that the different classes or representatives of the class intervals occur or frequent in the data. So you can see the example. Consider a survey involving the age at the time of death in a locality. Here, this column represents the age and it has got so many class intervals, and this column represents the number of death. Number of death, you have to listen to it carefully. Number of death. So frequency of the death or the death frequency. Here you can see the examples. Under the age 1, there are 2654 number of deaths. Means the death frequency 2654 times under the age 1. So between the age 1 and 4, the death frequency or the death repeats or the death occurs 756 times. Okay, and between the 5 and 14, 227 frequency of death is seen in this example. The variable or the class interval, this is the variable or the class interval, is the age at the time of death, and the number of deaths represents the frequency. So under age 1 is a variable and the frequency is 2654. Means under age 1, 2654 deaths are frequented. And 1 to 4 is a class interval, that's a variable, and 756 is the frequency of that variable. Means between the 1 and 4 years, there will be or there are 756 deaths. Okay. Now next term is the relative frequency. Relative frequency is used in comparing two data sets of different sizes. Then relative frequency is equal to the frequency divided by total number of observations into 100. In this example, you can see the relative frequency of the variable 20 to 29 class interval. See here, 20 to 29 is a class interval, that's a variable, and the frequency of the observation 15 times. So we can calculate the relative frequency. Total frequency is the 15. Means the frequency of this particular variable is 15, and the total number of observation is 87. Means the total or the sum of the total frequencies is 87. So 15 divided by 87 into 100 means 17.3. So 17.3 is the relative frequency at the class interval 20 to 29 or the variable 20 to 29 having frequency 15. Then another terminology is the cumulative frequency, means deposition or accumulation. The frequency gets accumulated. That is what is called cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency of data class is the number of data elements in that class plus that of the previous class. So there are classes in the first column, frequency in the second column, and cumulative frequency in the third column. Since this is the first class, the frequency and the cumulative frequency will be same because there is no previous class. But in the second class, the frequency is said to be, for example, 6. And the cumulative frequency will be the 6 plus that of the previous class, 6 plus 3 or 3 plus 6. And in the case of third class, 24 to 29, if the frequency is 4, the cumulative frequency will be 4 plus 6 plus 3. Okay, this is the cumulative frequency. All of this terminology will be useful in different tools of the statistics. We will deal with those application detail later.